Equestrian.com, Liverpool International Horse Show here at the Echo Arena for its very first year. And what a 3 days we have in store. And of course, it all begins here this morning in just a couple of minutes' time. Well, we begin international jumping. We have the two amateur classes, the Amateur B to start things off, the Amateur A coming a little bit later. And then, of course, as we look ahead, what a day in store. There is so much entertainment, world-class show jumping in the form of our four-star competition. So we've got an awful lot to enjoy. But it is International Amateur B jumping that starts things off this morning. And it is the Pan Am Bar official after-show party 2-phase. Well, we've got a great field, 29 to come forward. Kelvin Bywater, who is setting the tracks here this week, has got the track ready. It is a 2-phase, as we've said. And let's have a little look at the course. Well, in the first phase, it's over fences 1 to 8, beginning there over the Liverpool International Horse Show fence. They swing round the course, and of course, providing they're clear over those first 8 fences, the Abbey Road is fence number 8, on into the jump off over 9 to 14. As ever, time allowed in phase 1, 45 seconds. In the second phase, it is 47 seconds. And we're all set to get underway. The best of luck to all of you here on New Year's Day as the first to go at the Equestrian.com Liverpool International Horse Show. It is Molly Andrews. Molly riding Mum and Dad David and Julie's Renkham Aristocrat. The first in, good luck, Molly Andrews, Great Britain.
Okay, go cut through. Perfect.
So good morning, good afternoon and good evening everybody, wherever you're watching from all over the world. So the first in the arena at this unbelievable show in Liverpool is Molly Andrews. And my name's Corinne Bracken. I'm joined this morning by Jeff Billington. Good morning, Jeff.
Morning, Corinne.
So we've got Molly in the ring now. Now, Jeff, you've had an opportunity to walk into this arena. What do you think of this arena? It looks incredible from where we're sat.
It's fantastic. I've ridden in a lot of arenas around the world, and I don't think I've ridden any better. Just looking at Molly there, number 4 fence. We'll talk about the course a little bit later on, but number 4 fence does come up very quickly. Oh.
Molly's had a few problems in that arena this morning, but it's quite an imposing arena for these amateurs. This is an amateur class that we're watching this morning, so what they call an amateur B. This is really for sort of like people that aren't used to jumping in this environment.
Yeah, and walking the course, I thought it was, it's not very big, but I would say it's very technical really for the amateurs. It's very forward going. Every distance is a related distance. It's a forward going distance, so they can ride forward all the time. After saying that, being a trainer as well as a rider, I would think a little bit different. I think there's a couple of places where they could sit up, have a breather and have an extra stride every now and again. But we'll talk about that, Corinne, as we go along.
Yeah. And how much do you think nerves will play a part coming into this arena?
Massive, massive. You know, these lot are used to jumping at the local show. They're not used to coming into a big arena like this. Some will grow and some will shrink.
And now we've got one of our Irish riders in, Aisling Byrne. Now, Aisling has been to a few little international shows. Just talking to her yesterday and finding out a little bit about her. She's been to Valkenswaard, and you know she's been to Oliver Nova down in Spain, and obviously Mullingar in Ireland. So she'll have had a little bit of experience. But all of those are great big outdoor arenas. So I think this might be a little bit different for her.
This walk 6, but if I was helping somebody in this class, I think I'd have tended to tell them to go around the outside and take 7, just to have a breather.
And Jeff, we're watching what's called a 2-phase competition. So where does our second phase start? Because the first phase they've got to go clear in, and then the second phase starts, well, as you can see, she's speeded up, so I presume fence 9.
There you go. Answered your own question.
And that was a good turn back there. Jeff, this looks very tidy to me. I think she's done a very good job in here, hasn't she?
She's going well, yeah.
Ooh.
Well, beautiful round. There we go. It is
Maybe a little bit
first
close
three
at the last
post
fence,
phases,
but
and
she
it's
got
the
away with
first
it.
double clear of the morning.
Well, that's why you buy a good horse, to help you out.
You certainly do, the best you can.
Setting the standard here in the first of these international amateur classes. And that the standard to beat 32.16, certainly pushing on there in the second phase. But we look to our next.
And Jeff, how important do you think it is to have a show like this in the north of England? I mean, it really is groundbreaking, isn't it?
It's fantastic. We've never had a 4-star show in the north. It's unbelievable. And a place like Liverpool as well, get all the Scousers in, they'll love it.
Now, Kate's jumped at Strazeal and Dunkirk, places I'm sure you've been to as well. And she comes from Alderley Edge. Went to the University of Salford, actually.
Yeah.
She must be local girl to you.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, I know Kate well. She's girlfriend of Chris Smith. Just talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Because we talked a little bit about that distance, and that was the one where you said you might just have a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
But do you think maybe they're jumping away from the side of the arena, and that's putting them on the inside line, which is why that 6 is there?
Yeah, maybe.
Because you can see round
That's one advantage, you know, Corinne, in any class, not just the amateurs, but us in the big classes. It's an advantage going later on in the competition. Not only because you get the look of the draw and you can watch your fellow competitors in the jump-off, but also in the first round, you always walk a course, but there are times when you can go to plan B. Don't stick to plan A like it's written in stone.
So when you walk a course then, you would walk it just really to give yourself some advice of where you're going, but you wouldn't make that exactly what you're going to do. You react to what happens underneath you.
I don't necessarily think that's 7 strides, that's 8 strides. What I do is walk a distance and just have it in the back of my mind. That's either forwards or backwards. I don't complicate things too much.
Yeah. And that, again, makes you much more adaptable as a rider. It allows you to sort of change your mind if you need to, depending on what your horse is doing.
Yeah, I think, you know, in the olden days, we used to add strides like we had an adding machine. Here's Graham and Tina Fletcher's young son, Oliver. Very successful, even at his early stage in life. In the ring and on the dance floor, just like his dad.
Yeah, Ollie's already got a silver medal.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's adding the extra one that I said.
Ollie won the team silver medal at the Children on Horses European Championships this year, and also jumped 3 clears in the Nations Cup in Hagen when they had a jump off out there. Now, that's no mean feat in Hagen, believe me.
Yeah, it's good going on the young riders' teams, teaching them how to ride under pressure at an early age.
That was good there. He's come inside as well.
Yeah.
He's done the same as Aisling. Ooh, Ollie had a bit of a wobble down there.
It's all right. Bit more stylish than his dad was. His dad used to flap his wings like he was a baby bird falling out of a nest. Fletch did win an awful lot.
And that at the moment's put Ollie into second place, so you should be very pleased with that. We've got a long way to go.
I don't know, he's a Fletcher. I think he'd rather be dead than second.
Under a second off the lead, but it's still BYRNE that leads 32.16. But well done, Oliver Fletcher. Certainly following in the family footsteps there as Little Business goes into second. Well, to the ride now for Abbie Summers. Abbie joining us in the international amateur class with Piers.
So yeah, another grey horse, Jeff. We seem to have a lot of them in here this morning.
Yeah.
It's good for shampoo sales.
Grey's not a bad colour, Corinne. Look at my head.
So Abbie this year has jumped at Bolesworth, of course, another great international show in the north. But she's also been lucky enough to jump in Valkenswaard and London on the global tours.
Lucky girl. She had the extra stride around that corner, which I was talking about. I just think if they come forward on every stride, it's good while things are working out. But if you hit a fence, it's like being in a pinball machine. Things soon snowball on you.
But interestingly, Jeff, the two horses, like Abbie's done some global tours and, you know, Will's done the European Championships. Both those horses are quite experienced. So maybe they're just a little bit more used to this type of environment and allows the riders to ride them a bit better.
Did you see what happened then, Corinne? Abbie she knew that she'd got to do the tight turn, but she still had hold of, she kept hold of the horse's head when she took off, and she didn't release him and let him use his body.
Yeah.
She was thinking about the clock more than letting the horse jump. And that's why our great riders, Scott Reich, Ben, John Whittaker, you know, they can turn in tight, but on the last ride, they stay soft and let the horse jump.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point and a real learning curve for the riders. So now we've got Sienna Charles in the ring.
She'll have had plenty of advice. Father Peter Charles, Olympic gold medalist 2012.
And I watched Sienna ride this horse a show not so long ago, just before Christmas, and he's a big horse and he's a bit green, but he's a lovely horse.
One, two, three, four, five, six. She's gone on the forward one. Just shows you how times have changed, because Pete's trained his daughter to perfection. But Pete would have been the king of adders in the olden days. He would have always had an extra stride. Nowadays, we can't afford to do that, because if we keep adding strides, that takes more time and we finish up with time faults.
But all Pete's children ride in that lovely rhythm, coming forward. And like you say, you know, Dad would have added, but the girls and Harry certainly don't. This horse actually won the individual gold medal at the European Championships with an Irish rider, Jessica Cooner, in the children on horses. So what a great horse now for Sienna to have. And with a little rider like Sienna on board, he's a very lucky horse.
How old is it, Corinne? Do you know?
He was born in 2007. Oh, she was a grey mare, 2007.
He's nine now today. Happy birthday.
And that was a nice round from Sienna there. Didn't rush too much. Gave a horse a lovely, lovely round in the jump off. Nice pat to reassure him.
There's two sorts of tactics here. You can either go in and have a real go against the clock, or I can see what Sienna was doing there. Tactics, give him a nice round today. It's the Grand Prix tomorrow. Show him the ring today, and then we can put a foot down when we get in the jump off of the Grand Prix tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think that's good planning. I think you've got to know your horse, haven't you? You've got to know where his specialist is going to be. She's going to want to try and win that Grand Prix, and that's what's going to be really important for her.
You can't take horses to the well every day of the week. You've got to make a plan and stick to your plan. This is Maddie Kellett, trains with Mary Marsh from just outside Warrington.
Yeah, Madeleine's had a little bit of international spirit. She's done Valkenswaard, but she also did Oliver Nova as well. An awful lot more in Oliver Nova. It must have been just like a great brick trip down to Spain, I think.
Yeah, I've been there myself. Beats the English weather.
Yes, I'm sure. Although we can't complain.
You'd complain if you lived in Carlisle.
Yeah, you would.
Second, Oliver Fletcher at the moment with Little Business, and in third as it stands, Kate Houghton.
So we've still got Aisling in the lead with her horse. She was early to go in the class, but did a lovely round with her little Irish horse Doe, and then Ollie Fletcher still in second. So let's see what the rest of them can do.
Witcher's Touch of Animo.
And Elizabeth being quite positive with this horse. And then she's a little bit open down that distance there, Jeff, and I don't think the horse actually helped her very much either, did it?
You know, as well as the riders, this being a new experience for them, it's the same for the horses. The stadium's not ram-jam packed yet, but there's still an atmosphere in there.
And also what's interesting is that the boards around the side of the arena where the graphics are, they change. They change all the time. So, you know, currently that's the sponsors up there of this class, which is where the New Year's Eve party was held last night.
I was just reading restaurant and bar there. I wonder which direction that's in. Do some breakfast.
Might have to wait a while for breakfast, Jeff.
Can you have a drink then?
Oh,
perfect stride, fence in the wrong place. Got away with it.
Oh,
blimey, no, that was unlucky.
That was unlucky. Having got away with the fence before, to then have that one down.
Now we're getting not unlucky.
No, I think he's just lost his rhythm. Horse is a little bit unsure of what he's doing.
When you watch all the top riders, you know, they're in perfect harmony with the horse. They've got the horses between hand and leg. And what's happening to Oliver here is just losing a little bit of rhythm.
But this is a huge event for these guys. I mean, they've come in, look, he's given the horse a pat. What he's going to do is go away, reflect on that, and I'm sure he'll come back in and give that horse a completely different ride the next day.
Yeah, I do a lot of training. I'll go out and give him my number and maybe have a few quid off him.
Well, I think you'll be sitting here next to me. You're not having that. Now, what can we say about Tony next in the ring? He'd be one to watch, wouldn't he?
Definitely. He should be at the top of his game around here, Tony. He's an amateur, but he's a very experienced amateur.
Joe, at the Kiso International, he won 3 classes. He won a class in Sancourt when he went out there as well, based down near Windsor. And like you say, he is an amateur, but, oh, he's on the top of his game around here.
At what point, Corinne?
Yes.
At what point does it go from amateur to not amateur?
Well, it's a very good question, Jeff. What is the definition of an amateur in show jumping? Because you can choose which class you want to go in.
I think some riders are happy staying at one level and others are ambitious and try to step up a level. Tony's very happy staying at the level he's at. He's very successful at it. And looking at it through his eyes, you're probably better being top of the 2nd division than bottom of the 1st.
And also, Jeff, you, of all people, know how expensive it is to travel these horses to shows and get them abroad. And really, if you go to the next level, you've got to have a string of horses when you go to those shows.
Yeah, that's true. Without owners and sponsors, we couldn't travel at all.
All right, here we go.
That's why I'm stuck at home. Watch him go, he'll have a go.
They're pretty much set on that distance, aren't they? That's 6 strides up there.
Not. There you go. There's showing his experience.
And again, exactly what you said, where the other girl was still tight on her horse. Tony got the turn, but was soft as he jumped it and landed really short.
He's still letting his horse have freedom on takeoff.
Well, this looks to be quick and clear.
Yeah,
well done, Tony.
that's well into the lead. That's 2 seconds faster than Aisling. And you're absolutely right, Jeff. I mean, like, Tony just made that look very easy, didn't he? There was no effort there. That, for him, was a walk in the park.
I wish there was a bookies here. I'd have had a few quid on him.
0-2 to lead. Well, it's Tony leading now from BYRNE and Oliver Fletcher. That the current top 3. As the next to try and challenge Tony now.
Here comes James Littler. I saw James last night. I said to him, now, dancing only.
And?
He was dancing only. He said, no, 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 no. Takes it very seriously, does James. And James has improved so much as a rider. He's just done a fantastic job with this horse. Horse originally came from Lee Williams. And James was... he was on a programme called the ACE programme, which is the Advanced Apprenticeship in Sporting Excellence, which allows riders to be sort of taken to the next level. So they have help with sports psychology, rider nutrition, horse nutrition. And this is, you know, a horse that James now has taken up. I know for a fact he's jumped some 135s on this horse now, and he's done it all himself.
The job's got very technical nowadays, hasn't it, Corinne? Talking about sports, psychology, and if the young ones don't go with the flow, they get left behind.
I think what's really interesting is definitely the younger riders now are starting to see themselves much more as athletes. I think before it was very much the horse was the athlete.
I feel like a personal dig here.
No, not in the slightest. But they really are thinking about it in a different way. I think they're starting to think, well, hang on a minute, there's two of us here. We've both got to be fit and ready to do this job.
You know, in the olden days, it used to be the ones with talent won. But talent's not enough nowadays. It's everything together. I can always remember the great Liz Edgar talking about horses. And she said the natural athlete will always beat the manufactured athlete. But nowadays, if you manufacture the natural athlete, he's the one that's going to win.
Yeah, educated natural talent's always better than just natural talent. And again, James there just giving this mare a little run round here.
Well, great round there from James to ensure the clear through both the phases in 40.19.
And she'd be a bit spooky in here, that horse. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. I think I'll just stand and have a look at this, Dad. I'm not sure about all these. Yep, don't even think I want to go out.
One thing when you can't get him in the ring, but when you can't get him out, it can become a problem.
It is Tom Hollins now. Tom and his own.
So now, Jeff, when you were their age, I mean, a lot of these riders are sort of between the age of 40, I mean, Sienna and Ollie are younger, 14 and 25. Did you have the opportunity to ride at a top world-class international show?
Not at all, no.
So this is a whole new concept.
When I was 14, myself and John Whittaker were sat there scratching our heads watching Harvey Smith and David Broom, Alvin Schockemuller, and trying to pick up as many tips as we could. And I must say, that's a great way. Nowadays, I think a lot of the young ones think they get up, they don't know how to feed their horse, never mind plot it up. And it's a full-time, you know what me and John used to do? Whoever beat the other one the day before, the loser had to plot up both the horses, and I became a very good plotter. But we could also clip a horse, pull a horse's mane and tail. It's all part of the job. I never ask a groom to do something that I can't do myself.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's an amazing opportunity these riders have now. They get to actually ride at some of the top shows in the world, don't they, the amateurs?
Yeah, they do. They're very lucky.
Two-phase remains unchanged, but still somewhere to go.
I just hope they realise how much dedication it takes to get to the top.
Nina Barbers, Durton, Clover Colleen.
Not sounding negative, but I'm just being truthful.
I think you're absolutely right, and I do hope they don't stop learning. That would be the one thing I would say.
You never stop learning. You know, as successful and fantastic, John Whittaker's a living legend, but we'll still sit there some days and he'll say, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And vice versa, I'll ask him things. And you never stop learning at this job. Every horse is different. You've got to treat them all as individuals.
Ooh, a little bit close there, but got away with that. I didn't get away with that, though.
You know what happened then, Corinne? It didn't go high enough.
No, it didn't. It jumped in, took a stride, and didn't go high enough. You're absolutely right.
Also finishing with a fence down in the first phase. It's 4 faults there to end the
when you're having the post-mortem, when you come out of the ring, you've got to decide, admit when it's your fault. Don't, a lot of riders always blame the horse. but sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's the horse's fault. And a lot of the time it is the rider's fault that's put the horse in a bad position. Not necessarily just because they think they're on the correct takeoff point. There's a lot more than that. It's all feeling, rhythm, balance, and that's what these amateurs sometimes don't realise. Here's another one that should be on top of his job. REECE, very successful young businessman. He builds show jumps for a living. A lot of these fences that you see around here, I would guess that he might have built them.
But he won't be too pleased he's knocked them down then, will he?
That's why it's not a full-time job for him. No, but he's very good at what he does. He builds some. When you look at all the global champions tours and all that, a lot of the real fancy fences, REECE, he designs them and builds them.
That's another one of those situations where the horse just didn't jump high enough. He didn't really do too much wrong there.
No. So they finish on the 4 and conclude their round at the end of phase 1.
So next to go, we've got Gemma Wright.
Has Tony Pearson done enough? Still some very strong challengers here in this opening international 2 phase. And the ride now, it's for Gemma Wright.
What do we know about Gemma, Corinne?
Well, Gemma studied law with forensic science when she went to university, which is quite impressive, isn't it? And she's jumped to Ebersdorf, which is Helena Weinberg's place, and Oliver Nova. So again, a little bit of experience abroad.
I've been to both places myself. I don't want to shoot you down in flames, but Ebersdorf is Austria, not Helena's.
Oh, sorry. You have shot me down in flames, you're right. I should know that. I went to a European Championship there.
There you go.
She's got this horse in a really nice rhythm in here, Jeff.
She has, yeah.
Looks very relaxed. When you walk that line, Jeff, did it walk a little bit short, that 9 to 10 up that line? Or are they just coming again off the wall a little bit?
I think once they've got going, the horses are warmed up, and when you start off jumping around the course, sometimes the horses are a little bit stuffy, and if it's an open distance, a lot of the time I would have an extra stride. By the time you've got round to the end of the course, the horses are going free-flowing, and it walked a normal distance to me, but as you say, Corinne, it looked a bit short the way that she went.
Gemma just having that fence down there, trying to get that inside turn there, just get herself back really quickly, but unfortunately just paid the price and had that front rail down. And Tony Newbury, Gemma's trainer there, waiting for us. She comes out the ring.
Kelly, and she rides her own Stribor Courage. Kelly Roberts.
Here's one that I know, Kelly Roberts. Just outside Nantwich, they live. Very local to our local arena, Southview. Kelly's ridden a lot. Her parents moved to Ireland when she was young. She had some time off to have a family. She's got 2 young boys. Who both think I'm Superman. They don't know I'm Jeff Billington. They've had the picture taken with me in my fancy outfit.
I'm sure the boys will be here cheering Kelly on.
Kelly's mum's had a bit of a bad time lately. We wish her well. Ooh, flipping it, Kelly.
He looked a bit sticky coming out that double there, Jeff.
She
He looked
took
like
the hunting position coming out there, didn't she?
There was a definite hesitation, though.
First phase, it's 4 there for Kelly Roberts. Kelly and
A bit of muck in the diesel.
A cough and a splutter.
Well, the top 3 still Tony Pearson, Aisling Byrne and Oliver Fletcher here.
We've got Camilla Bingham next. Camilla was a student at Hartbury College. That's where I first came across Camilla.
Jenny Bingham's Constanza. Camilla Bingham, Great Britain.
Camilla jumped at Bolgswell Show as well, at the international they had there. And Camilla very much an amateur herself, but her mum has owned horses for years for Simon Crippen.
All right.
You can just see countdown there. Camilla's come to that first fence with only 2 seconds to go.
Maybe she should have got there a bit quicker.
Yeah. So stop at the first. That's not great.
It's gut-wrenching, that is.
It's a long way to go now around there, isn't it, Jeff?
But you know, that just shows you, even though it's the first fence, you still have faults there. So that's why it's important to get in the ring as quickly as you can, get a good canter, show the horse as much of the ring as possible. So when you come into the first fence, it's not a shock to him. If you can get him in there and have a good fast canter round, get any spooks over with in the first 45 seconds before the bell goes.
"45 seconds is quite a long time, isn't it, when you're in there?"
Seems like a lifetime when you're in there.
Oh, what a shame there for Camilla with those faults in the first phase on.
So not Camilla's day today, that's for sure. But I do wonder whether she used up her 45 seconds, but she just lacked a little bit of energy, didn't she, Jeff? She just like needed to have a bit more about it coming to that first fence.
What I would always tell my pupils, set off cantering now. Look, instead of there patting him, pat him on your way out. Get in there, get cantering around the ring, show him as much of the ring as possible. But keep your eye on the clock, because if you go over that 45 seconds and the clock starts going in reverse, you've got more time to make up. You don't get eliminated now like you used to, but the seconds that you are over get added onto your time, so you get very close to time faults. Time faults are the least of her problem now.
Yeah. Thanks to Dan. Abbie's actually primarily an event ride, although she show jumps as well. She actually was mentored by Jill Watson, but she competed at Burley this year. She went round Burley and had a very good result round Burley.
She's a braver girl than me.
Yeah, not for me either, Jeff, I'm afraid.
I don't think we're the right shape to go around Burley, Corrie.
No. Struggle to walk round it, let alone ride round it.
Yeah.